I never imagined my own family would betray me, but they did, for just $900.00. My name is Elena Ramirez, and at 26 I had created something groundbreaking, a cloud-based platform to revolutionize how small clinics handle patient records. But, to my parents, I was still their daydreaming daughter, who needed a real career. I remember the moment it all fell apart. I was crammed into the corner of a noisy café in Austin, Texas, finishing a security patch when my phone buzzed. It was Mom. "Lena, we need to talk about your little app," she said, her voice thick with disapproval. "Brandon Ellis is interested in buying it." Brandon Ellis. The name alone made me sick. The son of my father's golf buddy. A startup genius who'd failed at 3 different ventures but always had flashy investors behind him. To my parents, he was a real businessman. MBA from Stanford, a LinkedIn profile filled with buzzwords, and more importantly, a man who knew better than me. "Mom, it's not for sale," I said, trying to stay calm. The beta test is starting next month. 5 clinics already signed." "Don't be stubborn, Elena," she snapped. "You're just a girl with a hobby. Brandon can make it legitimate." Just a girl. Those words stung worse than any slap. When I learned coding at 13, a silly obsession. When I graduated top of my class at UT Austin, a lucky break. When I poured every penny into this platform, an embarrassing waste. "The platform is mine," I said through gritted teeth. "I'm not selling." But they already had other plans. The next night, they invited me over for dinner. I should have known something was off when I saw Brandon there, grinning like he owned the place. My father beamed at him. "Not me." "Elena," my father said, sliding a check across the table. We decided to sell your app to Brandon. He's offering $900.00. Very generous, considering it's not finished." I stared at the check. Surely this was a joke. It wasn't. "You can't sell what's mine," I said, my voice cracking. "You don't own it." Brandon cut in smoothly. "Elena, be reasonable." "Your father mentioned your little app," Brandon said smoothly. "It's a nice start, but you need someone with real business experience to make it viable, someone who knows how to market it." I glanced at my mother, desperate for support. She just smiled approvingly at Brandon. "He's right, sweetie. It's for your own good." They didn't know, they didn't even care to ask, that my little app was already a multi-million-dollar asset. The predictive engine I built could reduce clinic wait times by 45%, forecast appointment backlogs with 92% accuracy, and slash administrative costs by nearly 30%. 5 clinics had signed up for pilot programs, and a major healthcare tech firm based in Dallas had already approached me for a strategic partnership. But none of it mattered. To them, I was just a girl wasting her time. I stood, my chair scraping loudly against the hardwood floor. "You can't sell something you don't own," I said firmly. "I own the code, I own the patents, I own the company." My father's face turned a dangerous shade of red. "Elena, don't be ridiculous," he barked. "Brendan's offering you a real job, a job with benefits. You should be grateful." Grateful. The word hit me like a punch to the chest. Grateful that they were selling my life's work for a measly $900.00. I straightened my shoulders. "Keep your check," I said coldly, turning to leave. "And Brandon, good luck trying to steal my platform. You'll need it." But I underestimated just how low they would stoop. The next morning, I found out they had accessed my old backup laptop, the one I used back when I first started coding. They had copied everything, early sketches, outdated prototypes, even rough drafts. Claiming parental support gave them the right. Within days, Brandon announced his shiny new company. He had even used my early documents to file provisional patents, dragging my parents in as witnesses to fake timelines. The local tech news sites buzzed about the brilliant young entrepreneur reinventing healthcare. And my parents? They beamed with pride for him. But Brandon had made a fatal error. He didn't understand what he stole. What he had was only an empty shell. The real algorithms, the beating heart of my system, were stored securely in encrypted drives he couldn't touch. I spent the next week gathering everything. Every line of true code, every pilot contract, every email chain. And when I made my move, it would be devastating. I backed up every patent application, every source file, every contract. Then I made a call to Lauren Diaz, one of the most feared intellectual property attorneys in Texas, famous for dismantling tech frauds. They really thought they could steal your company for $900 0 cents, Lauren said during our first meeting, flipping through my meticulous documentation with growing interest. They thought I was just a girl with a hobby, I replied coolly. Lauren's lips curled into a sharp smile. Well then, let's teach them exactly what a girl with a hobby can do. I didn't realize it then, but that meeting set off a chain reaction that would rattle the local tech scene and utterly destroy Brandon Ellis. Because innovation doesn't come from stealing lines of code you don't even understand. It comes from knowing every byte, every sequence, every heartbeat of your own creation. And I knew mine better than anyone. The next phase began with a text from an old college friend who now worked at Travis Regional Clinic, one of the hospitals that had agreed to pilot my software. Elena, you have to see this. Ellis Tech just crashed and burned during their demo. I smiled. I knew exactly what happened. You see, I'd built in a hidden failsafe, a deep authentication layer that triggered only during real-world large-scale deployment. During small tests, everything looked fine, but when the full system went live, without my personal verification, it would implode in the most spectacular way. 2 weeks after Brandon's theft, he hosted a grand demonstration at Travis Regional. The press came. Investors came. My parents came. And I came to, sitting quietly in the back row, hidden behind oversized glasses and a tailored black suit. Brandon took the stage, oozing confidence. Today, he proclaimed, Ellis Tech will revolutionize patient care. That's when the system began to collapse. At first, small glitches. Then, flashing error messages on every screen. Error, core authentication required. Validation needed. Developer, E. Ramirez. Brandon's face went sheep white. He tried rebooting, he tried bypassing. Nothing worked. Each attempt only exposed more. Warning, unauthorized use detected. Contact Elena Ramirez for verification. The room froze. Investors whispered, administrators frowned. And Brandon Ellis realized, too late, that he wasn't the genius. He was just the thief. The room buzzed with whispers. Investors shifted uncomfortably in their seats. Hospital administrators exchanged sharp, concerned glances. I watched my parents' faces morph, pride dissolving into pure confusion as Brandon stammered through weak, desperate explanations. Then I stood up, calm and steady, and walked to the front of the room. Mr. Ellis, I said loudly, my voice cutting clean through the heavy air. Are you having trouble running my platform? Brandon froze, confusion flashing to horror as I calmly removed my glasses. Maybe I can help, I continued smoothly. After all, I wrote every single line of that code. Leti kanun, my father gasped, standing halfway up, his face flushing red with shock and something close to fear. Ignoring him, I pulled my laptop from my bag, connected it to the projector, and started typing. In seconds, the error messages vanished, replaced by the fully functioning platform I had spent 3 grueling years perfecting. The crowd watched in stunned silence as I demonstrated real-time predictive analytics, resource optimization, patient admission forecasting, features Brendan hadn't even known existed. This, I said calmly, addressing the room, is the real system. The one Mr. Ellis tried to steal for $900 0 cents. I began projecting emails, patent registrations, and timestamp development logs onto the giant screen behind me. Irrefutable proof that I was the sole creator. And one last thing, I said, smiling tightly as I pulled up one final document. A cease and desist letter, followed by the federal lawsuit for intellectual property theft. Brennan lunged toward the podium, red-faced and sputtering. She's lying. Her parents gave me the rights. Lauren Diaz, my lawyer, rose smoothly from her seat at the front row. Actually, they didn't, she said coolly, her voice sharp as a knife. Mrs. Ramirez, patents and copyrights were filed and approved months before you attempted your little heist. She folded her arms. Would you care to explain how you obtained her intellectual property? Chaos exploded in the room. Investors stormed out, phones pressed to their ears, canceling deals in real time. Hospital administrators clustered together, murmuring about legal fallout. Journalists started snapping photos and shouting questions at Brandon, who stood frozen like a deer in headlights. My mother grabbed my arm. Elena, how could you embarrass us like this? Brandon was trying to help you. I gently pulled free. No, Mom, he was trying to rob me. And you helped me. Because you never believed I was enough. My father stammered. We were only trying to protect you. I looked him dead in the eyes. From what? Success? You're just a girl? I finished for him, my voice calm and steady. This, just a girl, built a system worth millions. The same system your friend's son tried to steal for less than the price of a second-hand laptop. I turned to the stunned audience. My name is Elena Ramirez. I'm the founder and CEO of PulseCore Technologies, and under my leadership, I look forward to showing the world exactly what real innovation looks like. The aftermath came fast, and it was brutal for Brendan Ellis. His investors fled overnight. His reputation in Austin's tech scene collapsed completely. And with Lauren Diaz pressing charges for intellectual property theft, he faced serious legal consequences. As for my parents, they tried to rewrite history, tried to act like they'd been trying to protect me all along. But the damage was done. How could I ever trust people who had so easily sold off everything I worked for? 6 months later, I stood once again on a stage, but under very different circumstances. PulseCore Technologies had just closed a $50 million 0-cents funding round. Our pilot programs had shattered expectations. 48% reduction in patient wait times, 41% improvement in resource allocation, and near-perfect predictive analytics for hospital admissions. The packed auditorium erupted in applause. As I spoke, I spotted my parents sitting near the very back, their faces full of something between guilt and longing. Lately, they had been sending texts and emails, telling me how proud they were, how they always believed in me. But their pride wasn't for me. It was for the success I built despite them, not because of them. After the presentation, they approached, looking tentative and broken. Elena, sweetheart, my mother began tearfully. We're so sorry, we didn't mean. I lifted a hand to stop her. I know you're sorry. But being sorry because I succeeded isn't the same as believing in me when I needed it most. Can't we move past this? My father pleaded. We're family. I studied them for a moment. Family supports. Family doesn't steal, I said quietly. You chose Brandon because you couldn't imagine your daughter being enough. I handed them each a business card. If you want to meet with me, you can schedule through my office, just like any other business associate. As I walked away, I heard my mother break into quiet sobs. A small part of me wanted to turn back, to forgive, to forget. But I knew better. Sometimes success isn't just about proving others wrong. It's about proving to yourself that you were right all along. Today, PulseCore Technologies is revolutionizing healthcare across the country and expanding globally. And Brandon Ellis, he's banned from the tech industry. His name? A cautionary tale. And that $900 0-cents check they once tried to buy my company with? I had it framed. It hangs right behind my desk at PulseCore Technologies, a daily reminder that your worth is never determined by what others see in you. It's determined by what you know you're capable of building. There will always be people who underestimate you, dismiss you, or even try to steal your dreams. But if you stay true to yourself and protect what you've built, success becomes the ultimate revenge. So the next time someone tells you that you're just a girl or just anything at all, remember my story. Remember that the people who underestimate you have nothing to do with your real value. Only you define that. As for my parents, they still send the occasional email, full of words about family, forgiveness, and starting over. Maybe someday we'll rebuild something, but it won't be on their old terms. It will be on mine. Not as the naive daughter they once doubted, but as the woman who proved them wrong. Because I'm not just a girl playing with code anymore. I'm Elena Ramirez, founder and CEO of a company that's changing the future of healthcare across the world. And no one, not Brandon, not my parents, not anyone, can ever take that away from me. If my story resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Share your support, your experiences, or even your own battles against being underestimated right here in the comments. Every word of encouragement reminds me that standing up for yourself matters. It wasn't easy walking away from the people who should have believed in me first, but I had to choose myself. And I hope if you ever face a moment like mine, you choose yourself too. Believe in your work, guard your dreams fiercely, and never let anyone, not even family, convince you that your vision is too small. Your potential isn't measured by who doubts you. It's measured by what you build when no one is looking. Success isn't about revenge. It's about rising above and knowing your worth, even when others refuse to see it. So leave a comment, show your support, and most importantly, remember this: you are not just anything. You are powerful, capable, and deserving of the life you dream of creating. I'm rooting for you, the way I had to learn to root for myself. And if no one has told you yet, you are more than enough.